September 1940. The bombing blitz of London has reached its third consecutive night in a row. Buildings are destroyed and several are killed. As the nation's capital tries to adapt and retaliate to the continuous attack, Londoners all over have to take refuge in air raid shelters, with some even having them in their back gardens.
In one such back garden, you have Michael and Mabel, two northerners in their mid-20s who risked everything and moved to London just over 1 year ago, in August 1939. They moved in the hopes of a better life, to prosper, to start anew, but then war came, and ever since it became even more about a battle for survival.
Living in a dilapidated house and refuging in a small shelter, Michael and Mabel's relationship is strained to its limits as the relentless bombing from the sky continues.
I still don't see why you had to go dashing back like that.
Well, I had to get today's paper, didn't I? Wouldn't have note to read otherwise.
You could just talk to me, Michael, like how a normal husband would talk to his wife. You used to do that, do you remember?
Mabel, come on, let's not have this again.
No, you know what, let's have it again. Because ever since we moved here over a year ago, it's been nothing but shit. New life, you said. Loads of jobs and money and happiness and all that romantic bullshit you come out with. And somehow, Michael Thomas, you bloody convinced me. And now here we are, stuck in a dog's dinner of an air raid shelter, whilst being bombed by Hitler, and you don't even have the decency to talk to me.
Well, what is there to say, Mabel, honestly? No point talking about the bombing because it's happening. And aside from that, well...
What? Go on, say it.
Well, we know things have been a bit patchy. So there's no point in making it worse by talking about it, is there?
That is hands down the daftest thing you've ever said. Michael, listen to me. When all this war kicked off last year, it cooked up a lot of things for you and me. But I told you, remember? I said we could get through it. You and me, like we always have.
Aye, and look at us, Mabel, eh? You say I'm the romantic, but listen to you. Everything isn't hunky-dory. I'm working in the factory, I'm earning a pittance, trying to keep you fed and healthy, whilst all the time having bombs dropped on me head and being ridiculed for not being out there.
So that's what this is about? You not serving as a soldier?
No, I didn't say that.
Do you not understand how lucky we are? Whenever I pass the girls in the street, they're always talking about how they miss their husbands. How they haven't heard from them in weeks, not sure whether they're dead or alive or if they're coming back. And I am so thankful, incredibly thankful that you're still here with me, Michael. We've been offered the chance to stay together, and instead of seizing that chance for all it's worth, you act as if I'm not here. Like you don't want me to exist in your space anymore.
That's not true.
Then what is it then? Because honestly, Michael, I am tired of you acting like I'm just a piece of furniture.
Just leave then. If you're that tired of me, just leave, Mabel. Just get out.
You're seriously telling me to walk out into the middle of a bloody air raid? What are you saying?
I didn't mean... I wasn't... Mabel.
Michael... Please, talk to me. What's wrong?
Remember when they rejected me from the army?
Yes. They said you were needed here at home. A key worker, making bullets for the lads out there.
That's not what they said. I lied to you. And I'm sorry, but I couldn't face telling you what they really said.
Then tell me now. No more lies.
They rejected me based on... They rejected me based on my mental state. When they told me what I was signing up for, what I would see, what I would do, I couldn't. I had a breakdown.
Those 2 days you were at the army barracks waiting to hear from them...
It was me in the sickbay recovering from a psychological episode.
Michael, why didn't you tell me?
I couldn't face you with it, my love. I didn't. I still don't feel like a man. I failed my country. I've failed you.
Don't talk daft now. You haven't failed anyone. You're just not well.
It was my father. You know he's long gone now, but there's more to it than that. I was born a few months before the First World War. He left soon after it began, and I never met him until he came back in 1918. 4-year-old I was. And Mum had always spoken of what a man he was. But that's not who I met when he came home. The Somme he'd fought in. Nearly all of his friends killed before his eyes. He'd lost his left arm in the battle, and he was erratic, he was paranoid, he was afraid. He never said much. And anything loud would get him screaming. He used to scream, "Terrible, Mabel," and all because of what it reminded him of. The explosions. The gunfire. The death that surrounded him, and it drove him mad. Shell shock, they called it. But I swore to myself I would not end up like that. I would be stronger, but look at me.
Michael, you are one of the strongest, bravest people I have ever met. You were the one who convinced me to take the biggest risk of my life and move down here to London. That took bravery. And if this war went raging on, we would have been making a success of it. I know we would. But you can't beat yourself up like this. It's hurting you. And it's turning you into someone that just isn't Michael Thomas.
But you don't see the way things are at the factory. The looks I get from management, the backhanded comments they make about me not being out there with the rest of them.
They don't matter, Michael. All that matters is that you are doing your bit. Without you, the lads out there wouldn't have any bullets to shoot. You're just as important as they are in all of this.
Am I mad, Mabel?
No, you're not mad, not at all. You're definitely an oddball, but that's one of the reasons I fell in love with you. And no matter what happens, whether our house gets bombed or Britain gets invaded, I'm still going to love you. And I'm not going anywhere.
Your father were right with what he said at our wedding. I really don't deserve you.
Oh, stop it. Dad loves you, really. He just gets a bit overprotective when other men are involved in my life.
Have you heard from them recently?
No. No letters from them in the last few days.
Your parents are like Stonehenge. Nothing can knock them down.
Hello, Michael. Nice to see you again, bad jokes and all.
I gotta say, it did feel proper nice to spit out a bad joke again. Thank you though, Mabel. I've been a right pillock this past year, but I'm promising you, no more lies, no more secrets. And when this is all over, I'll buy you a nice house in the sunny Bahamas.
Let's focus on the first part for now, eh? The Bahamas can wait.
Just like I'll wait for you.
To do what?
To come and give me a kiss.
Oh, you daft sod. 80 years later, the year is 2020. The coronavirus pandemic has swept the world, shutting entire countries down. In the northwest of the UK, in a basic one-bedroom apartment, are James and Katie. They've been going out together for just over 3 years, and before the UK went into lockdown, they decided to stay together in their apartment, as opposed to going back to live with their respective families. It's been 8 weeks since lockdown, and tensions are starting to rise rapidly between them. Where have you been?
Hey up, Katie. Nice to see you've gotten out of bed this morning.
James, serious, where have you been?
I've just been round the park for me walk. Why?
You've been gone 4 hours.
Well, maybe it was just a really long walk.
Or maybe you were having a few bottles with the lads on the grass to celebrate VE Day.
How the hell did you...
Dave's Instagram story.
Fuck's sake, Dave.
Don't blame Dave. What the fuck are you doing gathering with the boys? And why didn't you tell me?
Right, well, A, because it's VE Day, it's a bank holiday, so it makes sense to celebrate, and B, because you'd probably kick up a fuss about me going, my case proven, right here, right now.
James, the UK is in lockdown. Over 25,000 people have died, and you want to risk catching and spreading this bloody thing, all so you can have a few cold ones with your mates. How fucking ignorant are you?
I'm not ignorant at all, we were just meeting for a quick drink.
4 hours!
Well, all the same, we were socially distancing.
Absolute bollocks you were.
Oh yeah? And how would you know about that?
Dave's Instagram story!
Fuck's sake, Dave.
Have you forgotten that I'm asthmatic? Have you forgotten about the surgery I had last year? I'm highly vulnerable to this virus, and you know that, James. You know that. But apparently, that doesn't mean shit. Not when beer and your mates are involved. then I'm just expendable, right?
No, Katie, come on. Let's sit down a minute. Let's just talk.
No, just stay away from me. I have to self-isolate from you anyway.
Well, we live in a one-bedroom apartment, so good luck with that one.
I just can't believe you would do something so stupid, so irresponsible, without even thinking of what you could do to me or others around you. Oh, God. This is just like what happened to Gran.
Your Gran?
Gran Mabel. When she was our age, she'd been married to Grandad for a few years. They'd just moved to London, then the war started, the Blitz and all that. She told me when I was younger that it really tested her and Grandad's marriage. Hell, the whole relationship. More arguments, less conversation, like they were somehow distancing from each other, all the while bombs were falling on their heads. And now, here we are. No one's firing guns or being shot down, but yet we are just like them. We're arguing all the time, having less conversations, or doing things we used to enjoy doing together, but why? They suffered through so much more back in the day, and yet we can't cope.
Of course we can cope, sweet. We can see our families and friends, FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, all that stuff. We've got hours of entertainment to watch, endlessly creative things or hobbies we could take up. We're coping just fine.
Oh, James, please stop kidding yourself. Look at the state of us. We're crumbling apart, whether you think it's happening or not. You may find it fine to spend hours on end playing Call of Duty with the lads, but I'm so sick of being stuck 7 stories up in this one-bedroom apartment, tearing my fucking hair about because the one person I'm stuck with seems to take less interest or notice of me by the day.
I have... What are you saying?
Back in the day, Gran and Grandad had to work all the way through the war. Night and day they struggled with the threat of their lives being taken away, looming over them every second. But they somehow made it work, because eventually they acknowledged and took attention of each other, even through all the fights and tiffs they had, and they lived so happily right up until the day they died. Now there's us. We aren't working. We aren't shooting people in a battlefield. We are literally stuck at home. And every day, through one means or another, I feel like I'm losing you.
You never told me you felt that way.
Well, that's partly because you never asked me, James. It's been 8 weeks, and not once have you stopped just to say, "Are you all right?" or "Is everything okay?" Sure, I've wanted to tell you for days now how I've been feeling, but what's put me off is the worry that you'll just brush it off. You'll give me a one-line response, then carry on with what you were doing.
I would never brush off something like that, Katie. Not now, not ever.
Then why is this so hard? This whole lockdown and isolation. With everything we've got, the fact I'm with you, my boyfriend, why is this all so bloody difficult? It shouldn't be like this.
No, I suppose it shouldn't, but here's the thing. I'm not going anywhere, Katie. I'm not going to leave or abandon you here, and if you're feeling trapped or you're feeling like you're tearing your hair out, I am here for you. I know I haven't been the best the past 8 weeks, but it is going to change. I'm going to change it for the better.
If it's going to change, then help me. Help me stop losing myself, because I can't keep doing this.
Hey, come here. I'm sorry for going out today. And I'm sorry for the part I've played in making you feel the way that you are. But I'm promising you that from now, that's not going to happen again. And when it's all over, I'll take you on a nice holiday. Hey, we could stay at your grandparents' house in the Bahamas. Still in the family name, isn't it?
Let's focus on the first part for now. The Bahamas can wait.
Well, you remember how back in the day I waited for you?
What are you talking about?
Well, back in secondary, fancied you to high heaven and you still wouldn't be seen dead with me at prom.
Oh, don't start that again.
Was it the wet look hair gel or the pinstripe suit that put you off?
Oh, God, get me to the Bahamas.